y'all? It's Brad here. Share with you my little Sevylor, however you say it, pump. It's a stand-up paddleboard pump, inflatable pump, high pressure hose, low pressure hose. I've already gone lost. It's somewhere in the accessories and shit. But anyway, this is what I use for it. It comes with that. Let's go ahead and bust it out here, and I'll show you a few things about it. It's a pretty sweet little pump. So far it's worked pretty good. I ran it for probably close to 2 months now. Out here in the heat, I'm sweating right now because it's 102, 3, 5, that many, triple digits. So anyways, I wanted to show you this. It comes with, this side is the pump side, and this is the bayonet fitting, or the hockey something, Roberts style banjo boat fitting. So pretty much you have this on here. If you push it in and turn it a quarter turn, it'll lock, deflate. I'm not doing that because I'm sitting on it. But if I pop this on here, see, it deflates me on it, or through here. This has a check valve. It works pretty good, doesn't let the pressure lower too much. So if you plug it on, give it a twist, plug it in to your 12-volt supply, and away you go. I want to try to keep this video short, get to the point here. Besides the fact that I could inflate the boat, this boat from rolled up in the truck, deflated to on the beach, screwing around and everything, it takes about 15 minutes or so. It takes me about 20 minutes overall to set up and hit the water. Maybe inflation time shorter than 15 minutes, maybe 12, 13, which it's really not that bad. As long it pretty much takes enough time for me to get everything out, get the boat situated and all that, as it does to inflate it. So it's not a slow pump. I've taken it apart, just curiosity inside. It's a single stage pump with 2 diaphragms on either side. Everything's fairly well protected for dropping into the sand. It's a single motor that's right here, and it's a double baffle. So if you drop it in the sand, pick it up, shake it off, you're all right. And that leads me to my first little mod, is this clippage. I clip this right here on the side. You guys can see that. And that keeps out of the muck, sand, water as it inflates. That works really good. For the side tunes, I have 4 compartments, or cells, or however you want to refer to them, on each side, and then I have the center inflation deck. It's easily adjustable. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in here. Now, let's just talk about that before I do. I'm sideways here. You notice this doesn't come with this yellow plug. It comes with the regular cord and cigarette lighter, like you're used to. That's how it comes. But because I can't leave nothing alone, and this is called the XT60 plug. It's popular on RC car stuff, helicopters, planes, drones, all that fun stuff. For me, it's a universal 12-volt plug. My truck's wired with it. All kinds of stuff that I have that is well wired with 12 volt. It's not an RC car. If it'll set 12 volts, it has this plug on it. Why? Because it's stupid universal. Like I mentioned, my truck is wired. I got multiple of the male side of the plugs all over the truck, inside, outside, for USB chargers, charging an RC car off of it, different accessories. My laptop charges off of it. And then I have this little power brick from Amazonians that puts out something like, 10 amps, 12 volts. So that's a pretty decent little power supply there. Again, it just came with some stupid barrel plug, and it's got my male plug on it, so I put this on here. So I have brick power supply for 12 volt things. But in case I need to charge it off with something else that's not my truck or whatever else, I put the plug back on here, soldered it up, and I wouldn't say that's an easy job to do, but if you're fairly handy, you can do that. Build this up, and if you build it nice and tight, oh, it's so sweet, it fits right back in there. So cool. So anyways, now that we're plugged in, power's up. Let me get up here nice and close to make sure you guys can see. Now if I push this button, it cycles between PSI, bar, KPA, I'm sorry, oh, there we go. PSI, it should say bar on there. I'm sorry you guys can't see it. KPA. And then if I hook it up to something, it'll read the pressure of whatever it's hooked to. Or if I push the button up and down, it'll change. So
I'm in KPA. Let's get back to PSI. 7.6 PSI. My deck's 10. My cells are 3.6, so I just cycle between the two as I'm doing it. It's a pretty nifty feature. My one gripe is I wish it kind of had like a memory mode where you can kind of like hot swap between the two. So versus going between this, PSI and all that, it's too easily bumped. Sometimes it changes. I'd rather have this cycle between like a couple of presets and then make it harder to change your PSI and, you know, whatever.
However you're measuring atmospheric pressure compared to cell pressure. So yeah, anyways, it's really kind of nifty to use. I've noticed, I haven't checked how accurate the reading is against another gauge that is known good or of any gauge. But I'm running off that's recommended pressure. It seems right. My first experience with a boat, half a PSI, I don't think it's going to kill the end of the world, so I'm not super worried about it. But having the presets, having it electronically is awesome because you kind of set it, forget it, it runs up, and that's my next point, is if I have it set at 3.65, it actually runs up to 3.85 and shuts off. Or excuse me, if I have it set at 3.60, it'll shut off at 3.85. And it'll slowly leak down after a minute or two, it'll go below the 3.6. But it always does that 2/10 extra. So if I set it at 10 PSI, it'll go 10.25. And I think that allows for the little bit that you pop off and shut it all off and all that. So that it's a neat feature. So I set it up on a cell and I go about, taking the motor or gas tank out of the truck. And by the time I do that, or half the time I'm eating a sandwich or my breakfast as we're setting up, so I take a couple bites, put the life jacket on the dog, pick up trash because it always seems to be an issue or whatever I'm doing. It just shuts off, and I can kind of hear the note. You hear the motor pull down. It doesn't get labored sounding, but it definitely pulls down. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna finish this video out. I'm gonna cycle back through to PSI. I'm gonna set it at 10, which is its highest rating. I'm gonna hook it up here and let it run, and just let the video finish out of this thing being noisy and you guys listening to it and seeing how noisy it is. Again, make sure when you set your Hockey Roberts valve, you turn it a quarter turn. It doesn't matter which way, left or right, just a quarter turn till the little indent part pops up. Twist it on, and ooh! One last super awesome tip. If this hose dies, you could go get bilge pump hose for boats. Man, what size did I have? I think it was 1 inch that I had. That fit nicely over this, but I cut the end off of my friend's and checked it, but it fits nice, bilge pump hose, because his died. So use bilge pump hose if your high pressure hose dies. Hook it up, press power. Once you hook it up, press power, she'll run up to your preset amount, plus 0.25, a quarter of PSI. I don't know what it does in kilopascals of atmosphere or bars. But anyways, yeah, that's the Sevylor pump, and I would recommend it. It doesn't have any faults or any issues. It works. I haven't had a problem with it. So yeah, sail safe, have fun, y'all.